Hi, boys and girls. This week for the reading lessons, I tried to choose characters that had to overcome a type of challenge in the books that I'll be reading. So, in the first book, Jabari Jumps, it's about a little boy who's afraid to go off the diving board and how he acts brave to overcome his fear. So, when we talk about characters in stories, character traits are something that we often discuss. We did a little bit of that last week. You can have two types of traits. You can have traits to describe the character on the outside, or you could have traits to describe the type of person that the character is. Traits on the outside would be like what the physical appearance of somebody is. Like for if it was me, you could say that I wear glasses, I have blonde hair, I'm short, I'm a girl. Or if we're talking about traits on the inside, you could talk about somebody being smart or friendly or bossy. And when we have those lists of traits, sometimes the author might say it with words straight out explicitly that the character was being bossy, but sometimes the author doesn't do that and you have to make some inferences, which is take what you know about the character, what's happening in the story, and make your best guess as to either how that character will act based on the traits that they have. So, again, I shared this last week, but this is some lists of some common traits of characters in stories. Things like I said before, friendly or adventurous. Now, if somebody was adventurous, they wouldn't be a boring type of character. They would take chances. They would do other types of things. They might climb a mountain. They might swim with a shark if you were somebody that was adventurous. If you were somebody that was happy, you'd always be smiling. You'd be in a good mood. If you were someone who was bossy, then you might be telling everybody what to do in the book. The author might not say the character was bossy, but he would give you those clues in the content of the story for you to be able to figure out that the character was bossy. And then I shared this with you also last week, where there's two types of traits where we talk about with the character, the outside or the physical appearance and the inside. So things like being a girl, short. Like for me, I have curly hair. If you're talking about the inside, it's those lists of traits that I just mentioned. Things like on this paper, it says smart, brave, caring, honest. And then you're going to be asked to give a trait of the character and how you know the evidence, which is the most important part, especially when we get to second grade. We want to talk about, okay, if I know somebody's being bossy, what was the example in the story? So it could be something like the girl was telling her sister what she could and couldn't do. Well, that's an example of somebody being bossy. I filled out this chart and I just made up a story, but I said if the character was Ben and he was acting shy, or that was his trait, I would know because Ben was hiding behind his mom when he went to school on the first day. So sometimes, like I said, the author of the story doesn't exactly say that the person is shy in this case, but it would give you the evidence from the story. So now on to our story of Jabari Jumps by Gia Cornwall. And here we go. I mean, the weather's been getting nicer, so I don't know if any of you have been going in any pools yet, but I can tell from here he might not look like he wants to jump in. You can see his face is down. He's kind of hunched over. Looks like he might want to do it because he's wearing his goggles, but maybe he's a little bit nervous to do it too. Okay, here we go. I'm jumping off that diving board today, Jabari told his dad. Really? Said his dad. The diving board was high and maybe a little scary, but Jabari had finished his swimming lessons and passed the swim test, and now he was ready to jump. I'm a great jumper, said Jabari, so I'm not scared at all. Jabari watched the other kids climb the long ladder. They walked all the way out to the end of the board, as big as tiny bugs. Then they stood on the edge. They spread their arms and bent their knees and sprang up, 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 and then dove down, down, down. Splash! That looks easy, Jabari said. But when his dad squeezed his hand, Jabari squeezed back. Now that might tell us a little something if he's squeezing his dad's hand. Maybe he is a little nervous after all. Jabari stood at the bottom of the ladder and he looked up. "You can go before me if you want," he told the kid behind him. "I need to think about what kind of special jump I'm going to do." Jabari thought and thought. That might tell me that maybe he's a little bit nervous, so he's trying to take his time and come up for reasons for maybe not going off the diving board. Jabari started to climb up and up. "This ladder is very tall," he thought. "Are you okay?" called his dad. "I'm just a little tired," said Jabari. "Maybe you should climb down and take a tiny rest," said his dad. A tiny rest sounded like a good idea. When he got to the bottom, Jabari remembered something. "I forgot to do my stretches," he said to his dad. "Stretching is very important," said his dad. "I think tomorrow might be a better day for jumping," Jabari said. They looked up at the diving board together. "It's okay to feel a little scared," said his dad. "Sometimes I feel a little scared. I take a deep breath and I tell myself I'm ready. And you know what? Sometimes it stops feeling scary and feels a little like a surprise." Jabari loves surprises. Jabari took a deep breath and felt it fill his body from the ends of his hair right down to the tips of his toes. Jabari looked up. He began to climb. Until he got to the top, Jabari stood up straight and he walked all the way to the end of the board. His toes curled around the edge. Jabari looked out as far as he could see, and he felt like he was ready. "I love surprises," he whispered. He took a deep breath. He spread his arms and bent his knees, and then he sprang up off the board, flying. Jabari hit the water with a splash. Down, down, down he went, and then back up. "Jabari, you did it," said his dad. "I did it," said Jabari. "I'm a great jumper." And you know what? "What?" said his dad. Surprise, double backflip is up next. I love that story. So it's sometimes really hard to be brave and try something new, but usually when you do find the courage, it ends up working out for you. So that was Jabari Jumps. And today on your Google Slides assignment, you're going to have to work with some character traits. There'll be a list of traits, and you're going to choose 4 that describe Jabari. Then you'll have a paper where you're going to write something that happened in the story using those words. See you next time.